What's up, Capricorn? Welcome to your Scorpio Full Moon reading. Oh, let me move my pen out of the way here. Um, so I am. I've been going through the different signs, and I was out. I was out having a little kayak the other day, and a lot of different images came to me while I was on the water, and they related to different signs. And yours was pretty interesting. So while I kind of came around the bend on this cliff face. And I mean, like, cliff face, take it for what you will. It wasn't that much, but um, I noticed the way the light was dancing on the rock, and it made it almost look like a grandfather's face. And I know indigenous teachings, that is stone is the grandfathers, right? Grandparents, grandmothers, grandfathers. But it was so striking to me. Like it was very much like it's one of those things where you see it and you're like, oh, isn't that interesting? And someone else might see something different, but it was very much that's how it looked. And it almost felt like that. I was just picking up on the energy there of it. And I felt like there was so much wisdom in it, not because of the grandfather energy necessarily, but and this is not so. I believe it was Lee Markle. This just came to mind as well, who recently passed away. I got to interview her for the Festival of Literary Diversity through a news organization called Brampton Focus, which was humbling, very humbling. And one of the things that she talked about was grandfathers and in stone, and how, even in concrete jungles, so to speak, there's so much wisdom in that too. So that just came to mind now, actually. So I'm grateful that it did, because that's absolutely her brilliance. And I would recommend reading her books too if you haven't already. Great Canadian author. But there's so another point that came to mind in terms of this stone and grandfather. In that was this, when I was in one of my environmental humanities classes in grad school, one of the students there talked about limestone as the sedimentary collapse of time. And I was like, what? I still am floored about it. Like, I'm still just geeking out about it. And I thought about on that rock face, because it was limestone, just the sedimentary collapse of time, and understanding how to stay open under pressure, and the lessons and wisdom of that, because limestone is quite porous. It is very porous because of just the nature of how it comes to be, and that's just its composition. But it is also something that water can run through, and to an extent, despite its emboldered appearance, which is what I thought of the other night, its emboldered appearance. And just as a side note, if you are looking for reading on Indigenous wisdom, besides connecting with Indigenous communities and elevating their voices, I'm in Southern Ontario, so this is vitally important, because Canada is technically Turtle Island. And Toronto is Toronto, so it's not. These are the Indigenous names for it, but also, and not to do that is just like a token throw out. This is also something that I picked up at the library and I've been reading. So I recommend that you read this as well if you are so inclined. But it's very important, especially as we go forward, because I think that a lot of the things that we are forgetting is that we will soon lose the luxury of arguing over whose voices should be elevated, because the climate will get to a place more of emergencies, right? And so this is really important, because I think that it's not just about, restoring things in policy. I think this is about us too, as settlers, restoring ourselves to the land too. And to Indigenous ways of knowing and respecting that too. So just as a thought there, because as I was thinking about the grandfather energy, that was sitting over here, that book that I've been reading. But speaking of Lee Markle, because she's an Indigenous Canadian, or was an Indigenous Canadian author. Well, Indigenous, we're not even going to say that, because I know what kind of opinion she'd have of me saying that. But so she's an Indigenous author living on Canada, living in Canada. So this, Capricorn, is your reading. So we're going to dive in. So I would like to invite the angels, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space. And I ask that it is a safe and brave space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. Okay. So let's do this here. Spirit, what messages do you have for Capricorn? Three to one. Becoming. The Christ flame. A couple of signs have been getting this. My goodness. Distant shores. I feel like there's like an undoing and an undoing and a becoming. But there's something about trusting in things that you can't see, and the distant shores part. I feel like there's something to do with distance. Going the distance. I feel like there's this coming together energy. So it's like the becoming is almost like this. It's like this recreation, this creation of something, this coming together of something. I'll read you the distant shores card. My light's flickering, which is usually my way of knowing that some energies are around. So not in a bad way though. Always good. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll read you distant shores. I don't know why I'm even pretending to do something else here. Okay. Distant shores. Your soul is yearning for more. The divine is all, and there are no limits to what can be experienced by the soul. The soul is so hungry for divine reunion that it will seek out whatever is needed to get there, even if that means journeying to strange or exotic shores for expanded experience. You may be feeling this soul impulse as an urge to travel, to try something new, to let go of the limitations of your mind and how you see your current life, and to begin to see the new in what was once familiar. The art of the passionate soul is to be able to see that which is new and fresh, even in what is known, though sometimes we can use the help of a fresh vista to inspire the mind, to open the heart, and to be ready to receive more. It's time for you to reach for the distant shores that are calling to you now, beloved. Don't pack your bags with too much, though. You'll travel light and easy with less baggage, and you'll need plenty of space to receive that which is new. I love that. This oracle brings you a message. You will benefit greatly from travel right now. You may travel through the mind, reading journals of faraway lands or times, or watch a film that transports you. Moving your body to a different place is another way, bringing fresh energy by unplugging you for a short time from what you know, to plug into a different circuit so that you may receive different energy. So when the opportunity to travel arises for you soon, whether it be a jaunt far away or a day in a different place, take it. Don't worry if it doesn't seem practical. The divine is so much more important, intelligent, and capable of genius than what mere logic would have us believe. Which is really beautiful energy here. And I'm almost getting this as related to the that sedimentary collapse of time in limestone. I feel like there's something to do with that too. Like maybe getting out into nature is helping you see this, or might help you see this somehow. But I feel like there's something to do with a higher consciousness of time, and something is like what feels like this is almost 3-to-1, like three, not like 3-to-1, but the, you know what I mean, 3-to-1. So it's like this sort of, this like reduction energy, but reduction to expand, right? Like we're taking, three memories, three pieces of luggage or baggage that we were carrying, and we're putting it down. And that's sort of the undoing, but this is also the becoming and the higher consciousness that leads us into this greater depth and understanding of time. Yeah, I really like this for you, Cap. Okay, Spirit, what messages do you have for Capricorn, please? The Sun. Who else got that? Somebody else got that. Quite possibly Scorpio. The Hermit. The Fool. Dang, Capricorn. What? The Hanged Man. Okay, slow your roll there, Capricorn. I'm kidding. No, this is great, though. This is excellent. Major Arcana tell me that this sort of shift from this, you know, I'm getting three things that you've been carrying with you. Three things that you've been carrying with you. I feel like there's a new day here upon you. You recognize it and you're taking the leap. But you're also taking your time. You're taking your time. And why wouldn't you, Capricorn? You're my process babies. Like, why wouldn't you? Unless, because I was nosy and I asked the question internally. It's like, this is how you feel inside, and this is how it looks outside. And you need to do more of this outside than this. But I feel like there's a way that maybe you're slowing down a little bit just to take things in. But I'd say that poking a little bit just to say, like, Capricorn, it's okay. Yeah, no, I get the feeling that you're very guided right now. In fact, you could be acting as some kind of teaching capacity for others with the Hermit here. That wisdom could be, it's like the sun within you, right? Like the sun within you is what's going to help you take this next leap. Distant shores, maybe. Distant shores. The sun is what's going to help you take a leap. With the Fool here, leap of faith. I like leaps of faith better than tests of faith, let me tell you. The Hanged Man, Queen of Cups. I really feel like there's something that you're trusting, but like from the heart space, not trusting from the heart space and really leaning into it. Really leaning into it, Capricorn. Becoming, we have the Five of Wands. I think this took a little bit of work. Like it's almost like I think about camping, right? And my back does not like that I think about camping. So that is not something I do so much anymore. But when I do it now still, but like there's more to it. But it's like this, like the tear down of the tent, like you put it up and it's like, yes, I did that. It's so good. You know, like the number of times I've done that at night when it's been cold or raining and it's just, ugh. But then the tear down, like I almost get this image of like the tear down of a tent. And on the Becoming, that's beautiful because it means that there's something that you've not only put the baggage down, you're rebuilding something, right? You're rebuilding something. I know that's not technically what the Five of Wands represents inherently, but I do intuitive readings of the cards. And I think this is sort of like, it's like standing out from the crowd too, I think, as well, a little bit. If we were to do a traditional reading of the card, it would be standing out from the crowd. But just the image of like this clamoring, and I got these, for some reason, tent poles came to mind. Yeah. So I think that this is a little bit of that energy for you. A little bit of that energy where it's like standing out. Like there's some way that this Becoming is either making you stand out, or certain details or certain passions are standing out to you now in ways that they didn't necessarily before, because you are in this creative and creative as in not just like let's make art, but like creative as in generative, like you're remaking a world for yourself, right? You're remaking a world for yourself. Ace of Swords. Ain't that the truth? Seven of Pentacles. I feel like this is something that you've it's not even a need to really reassess. Like you've invested heavily in this, and you might feel a little bit like you're watching paint dry. Like a little bit like you're watching paint dry right now. But I think that there's something about this this leap that you're taking. The details might be getting to you because you want to just like blare through. But I think too that the Five of Wands is here. Like, don't do the clever workarounds, because like, don't do the clever workarounds. Seven of Pentacles went for a little flippy. being clever is one thing, standing out is one thing, but like this is not the time for clever workarounds to get to the easy solution. This is a time for your truth, because that's where the real work begins. That's where the real work is, and that's where the real investment is as well, my dear Capricorn. So something to ponder or think on that, or think about on that. Okay, so we have the Page of Cups, and then we have the Ten of Cups. Yeah, something's going to be worth the investment for you, Capricorn. And not worth it as in, like, because you get something out of it. What I love about the Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, is, like, this is the reciprocity energy. Like, when I don't look at relationships as a place to, like, oh, this feels so good to me. It feels good, yes, but it feels great because I give in it. Like, it's a giving energy. It's not just like a taking energy. This is like, you know, knowing the details, the little details, how someone likes their coffee. This is about if it's snowing, because it does that a lot here in Southern Ontario. Thankfully not this season so far, but it's like clearing your partner's car off because you know that they get up and have to go out and do things in the world before you, but you're up first. So you do things like that. Or it is like just the little details, like knowing that they've had a long week, and so you go and make food that they really like, or you get takeout that they really like, or do something, right? Like one of the things my friends have done before, because they know I love movie popcorn. Oh my gosh, it's like super awful for my kidneys, I know, but just that that butter, like a once in a while treat, if maybe once a year, but getting that and having a movie night, right? And going to the movie theater and just buying the popcorn and bringing it home and having that with a movie night, so that it's like you're not, you know, because sometimes theaters and public spaces can overwhelm me a little bit in terms of the energy, which isn't a bad thing. It's just balance. But it's that little stuff, like it's attention to those details is what I'm talking about. I'm rambling here to try and make this point because I have many words and I cannot make them concise to save my life right now. But I think that there's, so in terms of this Seven of Pentacles, the Page of Cups and the Ten of Cups here is like investing in, it's like you can't take shortcuts because it's love. You can't take shortcuts because it's something that's really meaningful and important to you. Right? Like the Five of Wands isn't necessarily shortcuts, but this is like the quickest win, right? This is quick wins. What's the lowest common denominator, and how can we take that fruit? How can we get that one? How can we take that one? Right? And it's not a shortcut energy, but it's certainly not a Seven of Pentacles. And a Seven of Pentacles is doing the work and putting in the work. It's you making the investment. Like this is like long-term relationship, marriage in a way, right? Like there's the difference, but the energy, this is like the precipitating energy to this. So it's like you're investing, and that's what makes this accessible. If this was a job, this would be like a 5-year mark or a 2-year mark, and then this would be career, right? So that's how these energies can balance. But I think this Page of Cups here, this is here because this is like the heartfelt offer that that grounds something, where I feel like this is more something that was in your mind, like this was a possibility. This was a possibility, and then there's some kind of offer, and this could be job offer, this could be message for someone, because pages are messengers. So this could be a message from someone that like grounds it in something much bigger. It grounds it in something much bigger. Woo. Oh my gosh. Tarot and 52 pickup all in one. Spirit, what messages do you have for Capricorn, please, on this Christ flame? Queen of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, Three of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, Death. Yeah. Could be dealing with Scorpio, but could also just have Scorpio loud in your chart. And I mean, keep in mind, this is the full moon in Scorpio, so this is also kind of like seasonally appropriate as well. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Three of Wands. This, to me, is about as much as you're able to receive the Ace of Cups, you're also able to give that because you've done the work to get to where the Queen of Cups is. Like this is, I feel like this is you, Capricorn, showing up here in this energy because you're feeling good. You've done the wondering, right? You've done the wondering. You've done the whole like, well, I just need to think about it for a second. Like, well, I just need to, is there a methodology? Like, is there a process? How do we lean into that energy, right? Like, so trying to go to that place. And I think that you've done that work, and it's showing up here because we go from this page to an ace, which is, the page is more like just a message from, it's a message from a person. It could be a realization that you have. It could be this energy. But then the Ace of Cups is, that's like divine offer. That's like the offer that comes to you by way of the universe as opposed to by people. And then we have the Three of Wands here where it's like, this is, you're positively, you can feel this coming. Like you can feel it coming, Capricorn. People say, people are weird about earth sign energy, and they talk about like how earth signs are intuitive, but like I think that earth signs are so intuitive. Like I was reading something once, I think I said this in another video a while back, but like a lot of the enlightened, like now ascended master energy, they were all freaking Capricorns, Gandhi and Jesus, right? Like those are two examples, but like, really? Right? Like 2 on 2, 1 on the time. So like it's, you guys are very intuitive. You know that something is coming though, Capricorn. And on this Christ flame, I feel like that's like, intuition. This is like your intuition here. I almost get this as like Capricorn's very own variation of the High Priestess, because you're just that extra, but you won't tell anyone about it. So, but it's like this feeling of like, there's a knowing here that there's something coming. And I think that what is in your best interest to do right now, Capricorn, is to just lean into it, enjoy, lean into it, and know that you've put in the work into yourself so that you can then give to other people. But this is like, this is also a recognition that the rewards that you gain and the things that you give to other people must be, there's an equal exchange of energy here. And I think there's something transforming that, or there's some way that there's like a reorganization of this, because I feel like maybe something was a little bit out of balance. I don't think profoundly. I feel like the Three of Wands is showing up in a bit of a reverse energy here. So I feel like there's a little bit of a restriction of you. Like there's like a way that your capacity to expect the positives is a bit restricted, which is okay. We all get into those places. We all have experiences. We're all dented. Like, it's fine. Some people just have figured out how to hide theirs better. And that's it, right? So this Nine of Pentacles and Death energy is, I think, the transformation of your expectations, with the Three of Wands showing up intuitively in that reverse energy. As I flow through the rest of this clarifying row here, I think this is also you feeling really stable. Like there's a sense of stability here. And maybe what made it hard for you to expect something positive was this question of stability, right? Like this question of stability. And stability isn't just finance. It's not just finances. It's like, how much peace is this going to help me maintain in my life? Like, how much peace is this project is it going to bring chaos? Is it going to bring mess? Is it going to bring discord? Is it going to bring upset, dysregulation, miscommunication, right? Like all of these things that just start to really mess with your Three of Wands, right? Is it going to do that? Is it going to do that? And I think that was making you question things. I think though that there's a transformation of the way that you're seeing either this particular opportunity or yourself, because I think that you're understanding that you may not be indestructible, but you can handle a lot more than what you might have thought. And I think that you just had to check in with yourself about something. 2424 on the time. You had to like check in with yourself about something. And this is like that rebirth energy here. This rebirth energy, right? We put down the burdens and we welcome something new. So actually, yeah, that's really beautiful. Ooh, that's beautiful. I just felt that in a deeper way. Specifically with the Ace of Cups here, right? My cat's chirping in the background. She wholeheartedly agrees, Capricorn. Distant shores. Eight of Pentacles. Could be moving for work. Like, that's a literal interpretation. Spirit, what messages do you have for Capricorn for this Scorpio full moon? Three of Cups. I get the impression that people might be celebrating you a bit. Yeah, I feel like people are going to be celebrating you some, Capricorn. I think maybe it's been a long time since you felt celebrated. Or just seen. Seen for what you do, like recognized for it, right? I almost get this as like a remedying or healing of overgiving as well, like overgiving in this Eight of Pentacles energy. Whoa, I can't hold the cards properly. Oh my goodness. Overgiving, and then this sort of resolution to that, where you're, I don't know. There's just something about finding family on the path, finding soul family on the path, finding companions on the path. That not only, it's not about you being recognized only, Capricorn. It's about like being able to give back to people who are really easy to give to. And, you know, some people might say like, oh, well, anyone who makes you feel like you're not easy to love or, you know, lovable, then just, you know, screw that. But that's not really necessarily wholly it, though. I think, because I know it is true. Like, if anyone makes you feel like you're hard to love, nope. But sometimes people, we give to them and then they push away. So it's almost like it becomes like their shadow is running the show, because we can't give to people honestly. Because when we do, and we show up in an authentic place and in an authentic way, they reject because they haven't met that part of themselves yet. So, and I almost get the energy of you moving towards this group, like you moving towards them. So you're like you're like, I'm almost hearing Four of Wands, but like, in the sense of like pillars of the community, because in the Muse Tarot, the Four of Wands, they're all sitting, and that's what came to mind, is the Four of Wands in that deck in terms of pillars. So like it's almost like you're finding family on the path, or soul family on the path that will be serving others. There's some kind of message like that, Capricorn. King of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, Tower. Wow. Four of Swords. Okay, I can handle that. Not that I'm like telling my decks what to do, but like also a little bit. No, I'm kidding. So it's like the King of Pentacles, yeah, as if they would ever, like, no, that's not how tarot works. It starts to toy with you if you try to toy with it. King of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, Tower. Maybe a little bit of seeing that there's some things that we still need to clear. And I think, I feel like there may have been like expectation, reality, like a little bit, just as a fun meme, not where you're at. But I feel like maybe you felt like you were in this King of Pentacles energy. Something came up and you were like, oh, dang it. And then you have to, it's like clearing it, right? This isn't, the Five of Pentacles is an invitation to kind of clear blocks, like to just clear things. Clear things in your energy that leave you feeling like this. And I think the Tower is doing that with this full moon energy for you, Capricorn. I get the impression that it's doing that quite loudly. I'm hearing The Scientist by Coldplay, the Going Back to the Start. It came up in a reading a while ago, but I think that there's a way though that this is like you're realizing that this transformation needed to take place, but it may be that you held off on it. Like this could have been a tower in reverse at some point for you. And then this Four of Swords is showing up, I think, as a reflection of the healing that you've done. And the way that this is actually a good tower, right? Like it's not one of the ones that's like, oh no, this is a really good tower. This is a really good tower. I also just feel like this is like real rest, rejuvenation, rejuvenating rest. You ever go to a cottage and like, I've experienced this, and I don't know if it's what it is, if it's the fresh air or if it's just because I'm outside running around like I don't know, a leaf. I don't know, a leaf blown in the wind when I'm at the cottage. Like it's great. And like no shoes, that kind of thing. But like, it's like you sleep differently. You sleep differently. Like it's like this bone deep rest, right? Like you have dinner and then you play a board game or whatever with the people you're there with. And then you go to the beach and then you come back and you're in bed by like 7:30 some nights because it's that kind of rest. And I liken it to that because it's almost like there's like this need to have this rest, this active rest during the day, like a vacation, and then this more peaceful rest in the evening. Something along those lines, like the way that they work together. Capricorn, maybe you need a vacation. Maybe you need a vacation. I'm going to pull from the chakra deck now. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Capricorns, please and thank you? Oh, that one stayed on the bottom. Natural world. Well, we're talking about the cottage. I am one with nature, and nature is one with me. I honor the rhythms of nature and flow with the seasons. I walk upon this earth gently but firmly, as my ancestors have done before me. I know when to move forward and when to retreat, when to cultivate and when to grow, when to yield and when to harvest. I belong. I'm putting that right here. I feel like this is also a reminder that there's something about the reflections of you in nature too, right? I don't think it's a coincidence that like Capricorn is such a wise sign. It's an intuitive and wise sign. And the image of the light dancing on the stone that I associated with when I went on that kayak, like to me, that's a big deal. And I feel like that's you. That's how I see your sign, is that wise energy. Knowing. For the greatest good of all, I trust my knowledge and wisdom and the higher knowledge and wisdom available to me. I am an aspect of universal consciousness. I know myself to be part of the whole. I now grow beyond my previous experiences. I am wise. Yeah. This is where I feel like you've got to be patient with yourself a little bit and not take the shortcuts, like the quick wins, Capricorn, because I feel like there's something about knowing. Like there's a knowing that you have. And this was more, I was drawn more towards this becoming, because I think you have to trust. Like this is a call to trust. This is a higher form, a higher trusting, crown chakra, higher trust. But again, I feel like this Christ flame, this Christ flame here is almost like the high priestess for Capricorn specifically. Let me just pull from the Secret Language of Light deck here. Spirit, what messages do you have for Capricorn? Soul song. Interesting. Soul song. Capricorn, that's lovely. What song is your soul singing? It's almost like there's a frequency, like I'm hearing this, like, so what I heard this frequency, like a hum of some kind, and then I saw a seed breaking up through the earth, but like through moss and grass that had already grown, and this was something that was sprouting up in an unlikely place. And I feel like that's the song, like there's something that's drawing this up from the earth There's something that's drawing this up from the earth. And I feel like that is this, it's like restoring this positive expectation. Something can grow where you don't expect it to, or you haven't expected it to. But I think that trusting in this Christ flame, this high consciousness, this high Capricorn's very own high priestess. I just heard earth centered, but make it diva. I have no idea what the F. But anyways, this soul song I think is like this connecting into this this life-giving force. This life-giving force that maybe it's not that you didn't trust it. It's not that you didn't trust it fully. I think that you just need to. Like, trust is a big theme here. And I'm going to pull from the notes from the universe on love and connection. Gotta sing it. Spirit, what messages do you have for Capricorn, please? They chose you. Oh, maybe this is love. Maybe this is a little love that you're taking a leap on. Maybe Capricorn, they chose you. You might, I just sighed because this is really cute. I'm smiling. You might not readily believe this. It might even spook you a bit, but there are those who chose this very lifetime in large part knowing you'd be there. Now that's what we call a reputation. 3 to 1. Sounds like there's some, what just went through my mind was like some energy is coming right for you, Capricorn. But I feel like you feel it. You feel it. And that's what's funny is you feel it and you're like, and you're like trying to do all of these like process things, like to ground it. And you're doing all this other stuff. And it's in service to this coming to you. So it's not bad. It's just, I'm chuckling because I'm like, oh, is that what it looks like in the tarot when that happens? Because I sometimes do that, right? Like, it's like, I'm seeing myself reflected here and I'm like, oh, I got it. A little bit of a punchline there, Spirit. I see. Spirit, what messages do you have for Capricorn? Please and thank you for the Scorpio full moon. My positive energy leaves a powerful impression on the world. Yeah. I feel like that's like drawing people to you, Capricorn. I feel like that's like, there's something about this, like with the number of major arcana in this row, that's like how it's magnetizing this energy. And just to go over the signs, there is Leo, Virgo, Uranian energy, some Neptune and Piscean energy, as well as, I think that might be, we have Scorpio for sure. Yeah. And we have some Mars and Pluto energy in the tower. So Aries and more Scorpio. I share my light with the world. I feel like there's something about like sharing with others. Like I mentioned here, like something about the collective. I think like there's some way that there's something that's coming in that's like benefiting the collective. It's just like the impression on the world. And I thought about fingerprints, like clouds as like fingerprints. And the ways that like when I was kayaking, I won't give too much of this away because this is for another sign, but just the way that the sky can look like there's like well, maybe this is like for you too. It was just the way that the clouds looked in the sky. And the way that sometimes it looks like, it almost looks like spirit runs its fingers through the hairs of the sky. And it's just like, it's like just caressing the hair of the sky that wraps around the earth. Yeah. So it's almost like the energy of this like deep affection that the atmosphere and the energy of that and that spirit has for the earth. So that could be relevant too. But Capricorn, this is your reading. This is your Scorpio full moon reading. Yeah, jazz hands. If this resonated, please like and subscribe. If this is, if you want to connect in other ways, there's other videos you can check out if you wish. But if this is where we part, wherever this finds you on the time-space continuum, morning, afternoon, or night, I hope it finds you very well, my friends. Take care and have a wonderful full moon.